This is a pretty heated subject, but I'll come right out and say, hey folks, Flappy here. If you have a favorite DM and you want to try to DM in their style, you can actually achieve this goal, but, okay, that statement comes with many caveats because the naysayers have a few good points. Let's talk about some of the do's and don'ts of emulating DM styles. Do try to emulate their style in running the game. Your favorite DM might have a unique, fun, or exciting way of describing things. Being descriptive in your campaigns is often a good thing because it can really enhance the experience of your players. So if Matt Mercer describes something like this,
"Here among the vines and mists that choke the uncarved paths of the rainforest,"
feel free to yoink and twist that description for a feeling in your own campaign. Maybe the vines in that description really feel powerful to you, so you take that and you put that into your campaign in a different way, twisting it. "Vines and shrubbery creep onto the path you follow into town, as though they are attempting to trip you as you walk along." A simple little touch that you did actually take from Matt Mercer, but you didn't plagiarize, basically. Moving on, don't write super long monologues. Remember, these shows are made for an audience, and the DM is typically the main draw of the campaign to begin with. Your players, on the other hand, are pretty antsy and want to interact with the world as much as possible. Set the tone, but don't be too verbose about it. Another do copy mannerisms when it comes to tone. Professional DMs recognize how important tone is for players and an audience. Watch what they do when their campaign is about to take an emotional turn or when they set the scene for the campaign to begin with. Usually a cloud rolls in, a feeling of dread sits in the air, the sun comes out. Listen to Brennan Lee Mulligan set the tone for the Calamity campaign.
Fire. Everything feels slow. There's movement and there's heat, but the only noise you can hear, despite all this chaos, is breath.
And now we know exactly what to expect from this campaign from the first few words that he said. Moving on to a don't carbon copy campaigns without talking to your players first. It's likely your players won't like seeing characters from famous campaigns in your game. Honestly, it's a little cringe to straight copy a thing from one campaign and put it into another. Again, practice the yoink and twist. A character like Galir from Fantasy High can be super appealing to you. You don't want to put Galir into your campaign. Instead, you can spin the idea of Galir. He is a sad sack elf who's balding. Instead, what you could have is an unpleasant elderly elf who does nasty old people stuff like drool while asleep, sitting upright in a chair. Okay, now an important do like this video. It really helps the video spread to more people. It's free, it's easy, just click the thumb down below. Do make your battles engaging and exciting. If you watch a professional campaign, you'll see that there are tons of objects and obstacles to interact with. Take your time developing these battle scenes. It can really make the entire experience of playing more enjoyable just by introducing new stuff to interact with. Now, this one is really important and kind of the gist of what naysayers believe. Don't expect your battle or session to turn out the same way it would in a professional campaign. There's a whole slew of reasons for this, the least of which is that they have a professional set team developing their battle sets. Honestly, that only plays into the production value, which increases the fun value like this much for the players. What I actually think is that it can be unfair to place expectations on your players they didn't ask for. Remember, your players are looking for an experience, not to please an audience. Professional D&D players take what they call in the business big swings, or in other words, actions not optimized to be a hero. Your players simply don't play the same way, but giving them the option to do so makes a huge difference. I would generously expect the ratio of big swings from your campaign versus a campaign like Critical Roles to be about 1 in 10. Covet those moments, but don't force your players to create them. This, I believe, is the correct way to emulate a professional DM's game. If you want to explore this topic a little bit further, I made a video about emulating Brennan Lee Mulligan's preparation style, which you can find right here. Just click the box. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.